Here's the fastest way to get this week's trials completed. They're a bit all over the place this week, so we'll be able to do them in 3 separate matches instead of 1 or 2. The most difficult part is going to be damage queens on matriarchs. Now, I would suggest doing the queen. I think it's a safer, less risky option. The matriarch is a little bit more challenging, and it's going to depend on whether you're on PvE lobbies or PvP lobbies. You're the kind of player that's played queen lobbies before and always dealt with rats, then you're probably dealing with PvP lobbies. In that case, I'd suggest climbing up to the primary generation complex and getting to the top of this roof, which requires a zipline or a snap hook. Snap hook is preferred, and from here, you can shoot down at the queen with an osprey, and you can watch your back for any potential rats that may come up here. This should allow you to do enough damage on the queen. Honestly, people aren't that coordinated in PvP lobbies to take it down that very quickly, so you should be able to get enough damage here. Try to aim for the exposed parts when you can. Otherwise, use the patina to rip off the armor plating first. Now, the next strategy is in PvE lobbies. It's funny, you've got a different problem when you're in PvE lobbies. People are so coordinated at taking down the queen that it's dead within minutes, which means you need to be really quick at getting damage. If you just go in there, even with like an equalizer, I'd be surprised if you can get out enough damage before this thing is destroyed. So you've really got to try a different strategy. You're going to kind of need to be lucky with your spawn. If you spawn on the other side of the map, you might not be able to get there quick enough before it's dead, to be honest. And if you can get there quick enough, my strategy is find a nice safe place where you're completely safe from the queen's attacks, but close enough to be able to snap hook onto it. If you don't have a snap hook, you could try this with wolf packs instead. It's going to be quite an expensive loadout, but you don't really have much choice if you're in PvE lobbies, honestly. So basically, once you're in a nice spot, this place here and dam is pretty good. Start firing at the queen. I would suggest a patina if you don't want to run an equalizer, or an equalizer if you've got one, and just shoot away until the queen starts to get distracted with other players. As soon as there's a lot of players attacking the queen, you're going to want to run under the queen, snap hook, jump onto the queen's brain, and then plant 2 deadlines on the queen's core here. Now, if it's not broken open yet, you'll need to break that open first. An equalizer will be the easiest way, or you can just kind of wait. Eventually, it'll get broken off anyway. You're going to need to be quick here. As soon as you snap hook up, you're going to need to place the deadlines. You can place 2 down, and then you can roll off the queen and run away as far as you can, and you should be fine from taking damage from the deadline. It shouldn't affect you. Now, 2 deadlines and some bullets into the queen should be enough to get the 3 stars done here. A very expensive loadout, but when you're in PvE lobbies, you don't really have much of a choice because everyone else is running around with the same kind of gear at this point. Now, we're going to do the first wave husks, damage flying arc enemies, and open arc probes in a single match. My best suggestion would be to do this in an electromagnetic storm event. I chose Bluegate for this, but you could do it on Spaceport or Dam. Just bear in mind that the arc probes sort of spawn around the outskirts of the map, most typically, and that's the same with the first wave husks as well. First, though, you're going to need to take down some flying arc. I would suggest taking down a couple rocketeers, and that's usually almost enough points. After that, you might need to take a few more wasps or hornets down. I'll show you my strategy for dealing with 2 rocketeers at once in Bluegate here, and it's pretty effective and fairly safe, to be honest. This is what we've got the osprey for, and the patina. So let's do that now. Both of them are. We're gonna have to shoot each one alternating fashion. 1 thruster there, 1 thruster there, 1 thruster there, 1 thruster there. It's gonna keep them both at bay. Otherwise, they are just gonna, you know, mess us out. And hello, man. So what we could do now is get an angle down here in the head house. Oh, man. And now that they're nice and close, we're going to swap to the patina and get into the position here and just hammer the main point here. So we're doing damage to flying arc, not destroying them. It's an important thing. We'll get angles on it, by the way. Run around. Sometimes it will get dodged, but you do have to be careful. Okay. If you don't like the threat of 2 Rocketeers on you, may want to try and just do one at a time. Going to do the most amount of damage possible with a cheap loadout. Obviously, if you have wolfpacks, it will just be so much easier. You know, so much easier. The other Rocketeer's kind of gone off and done its own thing, so we can just focus on this one for now. Yeah. As long as we stay on this lower part, we should be fine, honestly. Got to top up our health if need be. Yeah, he might hit that one. Not quite. So, you know, it really does depend. Sometimes they go through. Most of the time they don't, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Go, that's one down. Oh, no, still alive. Dead. There we go. Right, next one. He's de-aggroed. So what we can do is do the same strategy. Fire on the thrusters. Quite close though, so this might not work. Someone else is shooting. Well, yeah. It's already too close. Problem. Same thing. Get in this position here. Okay. Someone else is shooting him, so it's kind of hard to get an angle here. Go. It's just a really good piece of cover to deal with the Rocketeers, you know. You got so much room to move around. Stay out of the Rocketeers firing. I ate that one. I thought that was going to go past me. Right, heal up. Don't risk peeking the Rocketeer until you've got full health again. Could do a triple barrage and you... Yeah. Go, good angle on it now. Okay. Dead. Reload the patina. Down. Around. There we go. If we look at our progress so far, we're almost there. So for the meantime, there'll always be more flying arc. What we're going to do now is go and do the rest of the arc probes and make our way towards the Trapper's Glade. On the way, we can shoot some, you know, small wasps and stuff with the Osprey just to get more points. Once you've done the Rocketeers, you're going to want to look for the smoke billowing into the air. That's usually an arc probe or an arc courier. You need to find the arc probes. There's always a very good spot by the gas station, though, where you're bound to find quite a few. You only need to open 3 of these. More importantly, you don't need to breach it. You simply need to loot it. So if you see one somebody's already gone for, you can still interact with that to get the points. A super, super easy trial, especially in the Storm event. The first wave Husks is also pretty easy in a Storm event as well, although you do need to keep your eyes peeled because it can be pretty dark. I would suggest the Trapper's Glade area, Village, and the Baron Husk area, and you'll find a bunch over here. There's also more near the other side, the north side of the map, near the Ancient Fort Puzzle. If you struggle finding the locations, especially when it's dark, you can use an app like Metaforge. It will tell you where most locations have been found by other players. There's pictures there so you can see where they are. Bear in mind that they don't spawn 100% of the time, but the spawn locations are static. So if you feel yourself getting lost, you can always refer to this to try and remember where all these spawn locations are, and it really points you in the right way. So if you're limited on time, this is going to save you so much pain. You're going to need to open 7 of these to get the full 3-star trial, which is not a big deal, honestly. There are 2 types of first wave husks, well actually 3. There's this one, which is the Rocketeer Husk. Then there's the smaller one, the Wasp Husk. And then you do have the Baron Husk as well. That does count, and that will also get you the points. Bear in mind, opening that will send out a shockwave of fire, so be careful before you search it. Then once you've done that and you've extracted, you'll be able to go and deal damage to shredders. Do this on a night raid if you can. It really speeds things up. The main problem is you'll be competing with other players to find these things, but they do respawn fairly frequently. Let me show you some of the best spots. Cultural Archives usually has a couple spawns. You can usually get a couple in lobby as well. There's another one in this area, just between Assembly and Medical Research. There's a couple in Medical Research itself. There are a couple in Loading Bay, but the Bastion's there, so you might not want to deal with that. And there are usually a couple in Atrium. underground, you've got one in the seed vault area, and you've got a couple in sandbox, and sometimes one in lobby metro. What I like to do is I will be in lobby. I will look for the shredders there. I'll then come up through here into business center, check there, come down through here, look in atrium here, and then I'll go downstairs, take the zip line into cultural archives, see if there are any there, and then I'll come back up again and kind of just do that route over and over again because the spawns are pretty quick. And then you can come into the metro area down here and take the shortcut to go into assembly and check into sandbox if you need to. I would suggest just bringing an anvil or maybe an El Toro. I actually tried it with a Bettina today, and I was surprised at how quickly the Bettina can take down shredders. Really don't need to take many of these down. I think I took out 4 in total in a night raid, so you need to do 8 in a day raid, bearing in mind other people might be getting involved to shoot them as well. That could affect how much damage you're putting into these things. Those are the trials for this week. Hopefully you found this useful. If you did, let me know, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio!